Hi folks, HR Funk here. Welcome to part 2 of my evaluation of the Canik SFX rival Darkside. If you saw part 1 of this video, that was my shop review of the Darkside pistol. And in the shop, I was very favorably impressed. There are a lot of great features and functions on the Darkside, and I was really looking forward to getting it out to the range and trying it out. And a few days ago, I did just that. Now, I have to give you a little bit of a setup for what you're going to see on the range because my original plan was to spend a leisurely afternoon on the range with the rival Darkside and put it through its paces and be able to come back and tell you everything I thought about it. Well, something came up and what I thought was going to be a leisurely afternoon ended up being a rushed couple of hours on the range. So I did not get as much shooting done as I wanted to, but I think you'll agree by the time that I'm finished that it was sufficient to give a pretty good evaluation to this pistol. And when I got out to the range, as usual, I set everything up, and this was just cold, by the way. I put up the targets, got the cameras ready to go. I dry fired this pistol 5 times, and then I went right into my 7-yard slow fire accuracy drill. And here's what that looked like. And here's that slow fire target, folks. And I want you to take a look at this. 8 out of those 10 shots went into 3/4 of an inch, center to center. And I really was trying to keep all 10 shots inside of this one hole, and I had a couple of them get away from me. Those are my fault. Those are not the pistol's fault. And I just want you to take a look at that. That is extremely good accuracy out of this pistol from that distance of 7 yards. And a lot of that is attributable to the trigger. And along with the trigger, another trait that this pistol shares that goes all the way back to the original Walther P99 is the grip angle and grip contour. For about 7 years, my duty pistol as a police officer was a Smith & Wesson SW99, which was a clone of the P99, and it had a similar grip circumference, grip angle as well. And I always felt that to be a very naturally pointing, very good pistol, and this pistol has that exact same quality. I mentioned in the shop review that I was going to change out the backstrap and add a larger one, and I didn't do that before I went out to the range the other day just to save some time. I wanted to get out there and get the shooting done. So I think too, when I switch this to the larger backstrap, that's going to make it fit my hand even that much better, probably point that much more naturally, and maybe even give me a little bit of boost in the already outstanding accuracy that I'm seeing from this pistol. Next, it was time to step on the gas a little bit and do some more defensive-oriented drills in the form of 3 consecutive failure drills. And this, if you've never seen it before, is 2 shots to the body and 1 shot to the head in rapid succession. And I was still at that distance of 7 yards. And when I was going into this particular exercise, I was feeling a little concerned because I ran out of the targets that I normally use, and the ones that you're going to see in the video are slightly smaller in the scoring area, particularly the head. And a lot of people perform the failure drill from distances closer than 7 yards. from 7 yards, that's just far enough away that if you're a little off on that headshot, it's not hard to completely miss it, or at very least put it off in a portion of the head that you don't really want to hit. So I really wanted to make sure as I was coming up that I was going to be able to place those shots. And the thing I noticed is that bright fiber optic sight really stood out. And as I came up on target, I caught that sight right in the middle of my target and squeezed off my shots, and then came up to the head and again squeezed off the headshot. And between the sights, the grip, and the trigger, those failure drills were very easy. And you'll notice as you watch the video that I've got several shots that are going through the same hole in the body as I'm firing that drill, because this pistol is so consistent and it allows such consistent shooting. And here is that failure drill target. And as I said a moment ago, this is considerably smaller than the target that I normally use. In fact, this is about a half-size silhouette. Even so, my body shots stayed right in the center of the body. I've got a group there that's about the size of my fist for all 6 of those shots, and 3 of the 6, as I also mentioned, pretty much went through the same hole right there. My headshots are all well-placed headshots in a half-size head, and again, those are all in a group that's probably smaller than the diameter of my fist. So again, I was extremely impressed by the Darkside's performance on this drill. And the failure drill really tests the trigger and the sights as you're coming up on this and being able to fire your shots and then reacquire a second targeting point and put accurate shots in that location as well. And like I said, this is typically done at closer distances than 7 yards. Moving back to 7 yards or beyond with the failure drill is really starting to push things, but still I was able to fire those shots in rapid succession, and I'm very happy with the way all of those shots landed on the target. Next, it was time for another defensive drill for the rival Darkside, and this was the multiple adversary drill from a distance of 5 yards. And the multiple adversary drill features 2 targets that are simulating hostile adversaries, and when you fire the drill, or when I fire the drill at least, I fire 1 shot at the target on the right, then 3 shots at the target on the left, and then 2 more shots at the target on the right to simulate dealing with both hostile adversaries simultaneously. And this drill really tests the controllability of the pistol in recoil to be able to transition from target to target and still keep those shots well centered on target while firing rapidly. And here's how that drill went. And here are those multiple adversary targets. And again, I was very impressed with the performance of this pistol. When I fired the drill and lowered the pistol, I could only see 2 holes in my #1 bad guy here. And I knew that I shot 2 shots at it, or 3 shots altogether at this target. And I thought there's no way that I completely missed. And I had to look very closely. There were 2 shots that both went through this same hole. And I don't know if I'll be able to get the camera close enough for you to be able to see, but there are definitely 2 bullet holes there that are almost through the exact same hole. Again, extremely good consistency from this pistol. And we see the same type of performance here. These 2 shots are just slightly farther apart. But as the pistol comes back out of recoil, it tends to come right back down on target in pretty much the same place. And that allows for this very rapid shot placement and for the shots to be very close together again on these multiple targets. So again, extremely, extremely good performance by the rival Darkside on this drill. So next, I wanted to try some extended range shooting with the Darkside. So I backed off to a distance of 50 feet and fired 5 shots, and then backed up to a distance of 25 yards and fired 5 shots. And by the way, folks, the ammunition that I was using for this test was nothing special. It was plain old 115 grain Blazer brass ammunition. And even so, we're seeing the results of all of these drills firing that ammunition through this pistol. And here's what the long range shooting looked like. And here are the results of the 50-foot stage that I've marked in green, and there was no problem whatsoever from that distance keeping those shots in the scoring area of the silhouette. I pulled these two shots a little bit low and to the left, but they're really not too far from the other shots up here, and from that distance of 50 feet, shooting at that shot tempo, I'm not concerned about any of those shots. I think they would all be pretty good on an actual full-size human being. Now, for the 25-yard stage, I had a little bit of a snafu. The camera that I had pointed at the target for some reason didn't record. I have a beautiful recording of me shooting, which you're about to see, but then when I come back and start this camera again, I'll have the 25-yard shots marked on the target so you can see where they landed. And I now have the 25-yard shots marked with the yellow X's. And I actually fired a better group from 25 yards than I did from 50 feet. I'm very happy with those shots. They're all within that scoring ring in the center of the chest of the target. And the only thing I can figure from 25 yards to 50 feet as far as why I shot better at the greater distance is I think I just felt steadier at 25 yards. Maybe the portion of ground that I was standing on was a little bit more level or something, but it just felt really good. And as I was squeezing those shots off, they all felt like good shots. And as you can see, they all landed right where you would want them to land from that distance. So again, very good performance from the rival Darkside from that greater distance of 25 yards. Folks, at this point, I felt the moment of truth had arrived and it was time to find out if the rival Darkside was a 7-yard tack driver. So I loaded up 3 rounds in the pistol, I put a tack in the target, and let's see how it went. Yes! On the first shot, the Canik rival Darkside is a tack driver. So yes, the Canik rival Darkside was a 7-yard tack driver on the first shot. And when I lined that shot up, I knew that I had been hitting a little bit high when I fired the slow fire accuracy test. So I aimed about 3/4 of an inch low and squeezed off that shot, and I guesstimated right for that one because it zapped that thing on the very first shot. So again, great performance from this pistol on that test. So at this point, I was running close to my time that I was going to have to leave the range, and I wanted to get one more test in. I had 10 rounds left, and I started thinking about that slow fire accuracy test that I fired at the very beginning and how close it was to a 1-hole 10-shot group. Now, obviously not 10 shots through the exact same hole, but all the shots were touching to form one large hole. So I decided to give that one more try. I loaded back up with 10 rounds again, set everything back up at 7 yards, and here's how it went. Well, as you saw, I blew it in the first few shots, but once again, I had 8 shots that went into one hole. They are all touching there to form one large hole, and this time, the one hole group was slightly smaller. It was about 5/8 of an inch center to center, as opposed to 3/4 of an inch that first time around, and I'm confident that pistol has a 10-shot, one hole group from that distance of 7 yards. I just have to stop messing it up. But I really cannot fault the pistol at all for its accuracy. And again, this was with plain old range ammo. This was nothing special. This was not match ammo or anything like that. And it's still shooting that accurately. Folks, there's not much more I can say. This was simply one of the best performances, maybe the best performance I have ever seen with a brand new handgun. The Canik rival Darkside does everything you could ask of it. It is accurate, it is reliable. The only thing I don't know is how long it's going to last. I can't really speak to its durability, but maybe after I get lots and lots and lots of rounds through it, I'll be able to tell you about that. Because, by the way, you folks from House of Pain, you're not getting this one back. This one is staying with me. What you're going to get is a well-worn credit card number that hopefully will suffice to at least keep you from filing a theft report, because, folks, this one's going into my collection. That's how much I like it. And that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, as always, make sure you forward those to me. Remember, if you purchase anything from Optics Planet, be sure to use my discount code, which is... And if you use that discount code, it's good for 5% off anything you purchase from Optics Planet. Also remember, warbirdbunker.com is making t-shirts for the channel. If you go to warbirdbunker.com, you can find my t-shirt there, just like this one, and all of Nathan's other firearms and patriotic themed gear. And if you use my discount code at warbirdbunker.com, which is HRFunk4U, that'll save you 10% off your purchase from warbirdbunker.com. And once again, don't forget the new discount code from House of Pain Munitions. They provided this pistol, although, as I said, it's not going back to them. And if you use the discount code HRFunk10 at House of Pain, that'll save you 10% off your order from House of Pain Munitions. See you next time, folks. And until then, good shooting. Bye-bye.